Welcome to another episode of the Vital MX pre-game show, where we will endeavour to highlight all that has happened in the world of motocross in the last 7 days. Of course, motocross fans around the world are high on the sport at the moment because round 2 of Pro Motocross was just incredible. Arguably the greatest day of racing that we have had in some time. Chase Sexton was the star, of course, so let's take a look at his 450 MX career to date, because, in my opinion at least, the numbers that he has racked up have been overlooked somewhat. Sexton, of course, jumped to the 450 class in 2020, an earlier graduation than some would have suspected, but since then, he has amassed 40 top 10s in 41 starts, 34 top 5s, including 27 in a row. Yes, he has not missed the top 5 since round 5 of 2021. That's quite remarkable, in my opinion. 23 podiums now after he collected another trophy at Hangtown. He has only missed the overall podium twice since 2021, and weirdly, the times that he has missed the podium have been at round 10 in each season, and both of those times he was 4th. I'm not sure what it is about round 10 and Chase Sexton, but maybe watch that when we get there this year. And Hangtown was his 7th 450 overall win, his 12th moto win as well. Jet Lawrence has gotten a lot of attention for amassing some incredible numbers since he got onto the bigger bike, but Chase Sexton's numbers hint that he too has been very effective, especially in the last 3 or 4 years. Anyway, on with the more negative news. Nate Thrasher will be out for a little while as he had a crash prior to Hangtown and injured his collarbone. Nate wrote on Instagram, "Not the post I wanted to make. Last week I had a bad crash at the farm and did everything that I could to go racing at Hangtown. It definitely wasn't easy, but I did my best to get through it. Yesterday, this would have been Monday, I got an x-ray and found out I broke my collarbone and bent the plate on it as well. I'll be getting it fixed tomorrow and starting what should be a quick recovery." Quite remarkable that Nate raced at Hangtown with such an injury and managed to salvage 11th overall. 10-14 in the 2 motos were his scores. Even more impressive is the fact that he was the 2nd highest Monster Energy Yamaha Star Racing rider. Injuries were rampant at round 8 of the FIM Motocross World Championship at Tuschenthal in Germany. First of all, championship contender Romain Fevre had to withdraw from the event because the thumb that he injured on Saturday at the previous round in France was just too painful. Kawasaki team manager Antti Pironen had this to say in a statement. "Of course, it's a big disappointment for everyone, Romain, Kawasaki and the team, with the situation after Romain's injury in the first training in France. He tried everything possible to make it happen, and his results in France and yesterday in qualifying, he was 3rd in the German qualifying race, showed just what a big heart he has, but there are limits, and today the pain was just too great to continue. Now we need to get it sorted and return even stronger than ever." It was just announced today that Romain Fevre will have to miss the upcoming rounds of the MXGP series. There will be no surgery required, which is a positive, but the healing process will require time and rest. All Kawasaki have said at this moment is that he will have to miss upcoming GPs. In my opinion, I would expect him back at the earliest at the Grand Prix of Czechia, which is after the Indonesian doubleheader on the 21st of July. In more heartbreaking news, Paul Jonas, who has been a revelation this year, he won the Portuguese Grand Prix, remember. He went down in the first turn of Moto2 and injured his arm and shoulder. On Instagram, he said, "Probably these were the 2 toughest and most painful days of my life. Result from the crash on Sunday. In Halle Hospital, they did surgery on my right humerus yesterday morning, and now I'm on my way to Herentals to do further evaluation of the damage." Jonas will most likely be out for the remainder of 2024, but let's not let that cause us to forget just how effective he was in the first half of the season. More injuries, yes, more Marc-Antoine Rossi, who is Red Bull Gas Factory Racing's MX2 rider, will be out for the remainder of 2024 too with a torn ACL. He said, "I'm deeply disappointed that my rookie year in MX2 has been cut short by one of the longest injuries a rider can face. It's incredibly tough to accept that my season is over already in early June. I highly doubt that Gas will fill that seat." Finally, in injury news, Henry Jacobi, a German championship racer who was a wildcard at Tuchenthal, crashed in pit lane on Sunday, remarkably, and it was quite vicious by all accounts. He injured his jaw, lost some teeth, and he took to Instagram to say, "Somehow I fell at the end of pit lane and fell on a metal object that hurt a few of my teeth and palate, including my upper jaw. Everything will be fine, it's just going to take a little while." Have we ever had so much injury news to report in 1 week? Let's move on to some other matters. The annual Manjimup race was run in Australia with an all-star cast. That was won by Jed Beaton, who won in the 4-moto format. Caden Minnear was second ahead of Kyle Webster, Lars Van Berkel and Todd Kellett, who rounded out the top 5. Dean Wilson was 8th overall and crashed more than he has in a while. It was certainly an eventful trip to Australia for Dean. And on the other side of the world, Landrake was the host of another round of the Fastest 40 Championship, which is almost like the secondary national championship in England. Tommy Sell went 1-1 in the MX2 class on that day, and Conrad Muse went 1-1 in MX1. Two familiar names and two riders who should, honestly, be winning their respective classes. So what lies ahead this weekend? Well, we have another busy one with the third round of Pro Motocross being held at Thunder Valley in Colorado, and then the ninth round of the FIM Motocross World Championship will be held at Kegums in Latvia, one of the more spectacular tracks on the calendar, you could say. That's been all on this episode of the Vital MX pre-game show. Thank you once again for listening, watching. We appreciate your positive feedback. We are trying to make this better and get it off of the ground. So we appreciate you sticking with us.